Real talk for the walk. Check your hang-ups at the door, and let's begin to explore. Let's go. When I lean on you, what else is that to do? When I lean on you, everything. Hello, and welcome to Temple of Divine TV, where we have real talk for the walk. I'm your host, High Priestess Makita Divine, and I am so glad you are here. You are watching WZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode every Saturday at 3 p.m. So, the other important thing you need to know is it's important for you to call. If you have a question, this is about real talk for the walk. So make sure you call at 313-355-6018, 313-355-6018, and ask me anything. This is why we're here, because on this show, we talk about the stuff nobody's talking about. We ask the questions nobody wants to answer, and not that we necessarily have the answers, but we at least start the dialogue, and that's the beginning of the conversations that can help us to understand the things that we don't understand. So, today, you know the format. We're on the next week. We have a really exciting. We're going to have a live healing right here on the air next Saturday. Today, we're talking about our usual sequence of events. So we're in the matrix. What's going on in the world today, and how does that relate from a spiritual perspective? In the vortex is when we talk about that place where all your stuff is, the things that you've been wanting and desiring for your life. Where are they? But how do you get to them? And then in the spirit is where we talk about the spiritual tools, those things that are available to us to help us on our spiritual journey so that we are strengthened and really operating in the power that we all were destined to have, and that we in fact do have. We just don't know how to use it. And then we'll wrap up with lyrics to live by with some song, because I, High Priestess Makita, I love music, and therefore there's always got to be some music in the house. So let's get into okay, so today in the Matrix. So one of the things that happened a long time ago, I stopped watching TV. And what I did, I had an experiment, and what I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I actually started watching the news. I said, okay, I'm going to watch the news on Monday, and then I'm not going to watch the news anymore. Then I'm going to watch the news on Friday, and I'm going to see if it's any different. And if it's not different, I'm just going to stop watching. So I did that probably, 30 years ago. Wow, getting old. So anyway, and so as I was looking at what was out in in the news, in people's minds and hearts, and in Google, and what are people thinking about, it's the same thing, and it's been the same thing for weeks. It is the Ukraine and Russia. And then I came up with a couple of shows ago, I said, okay, I'm going to come up with an indicator, and I came up with the FUS. So it was like frequency of fucked up shit. And so the FUS indicator is an indicator of how much additional information is needed to maintain the vibration of fear, despair, and such that will keep you powerless, right? So the FUS indicator is at 1 now, because all that is everywhere is Ukraine and Russia. And the thing that makes it really good fodder for this type of dialogue is that you can be on so many different sides of it, right? And so I also noticed this week that we now have, what do you call it? They used to call it swag. Well, we now have war swag, right? You can get you can have Ukraine. We support Ukraine on your social profile. You can get gear. We support Ukraine gear. You can get all types of stuff that to give you like a place in this whole dialogue where you can stand, whether you're on one side or the other, which I think pretty much most people are on the side of, if you're to be on the side of support to Ukraine, right? So, and what this caused me to think about is, from a spiritual perspective, we talked in the past about how we create our reality with our thoughts. That thoughts are just beliefs or thoughts that we continue to think. And so they gain momentum. And when they gain momentum, the vibration of anyone involved, it increases, right? So then I was thinking, well, let's think about this for a minute. There are really good people who really want to support what's going on, support the people of the Ukraine. And they're doing everything that they can do to do that, to support. They're making their opinions known. They're watching the news. They're, some people do have shows about it. It's like, hey, we got to support the Ukraine. And it reminded me of a movie. There's a movie. I can't remember what year it is. I have a clip here from it. And it's called The Devil's Advocate. And it has Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves, right? So, in this movie, Keanu, I can't pronounce his name. Keanu Reeves plays like this high power. I can't remember if he was a businessman or lawyer, but he's this high power position. And man, he's got the pride. He is the man, right? He's like very savvy, very taking care of business, like that kind of guy. And he don't care. He's like kicking butt and taking names kind of lawyer, right? Because he's the man, right? So in this movie, he goes through these series and he experiences these different spiritual things, and then he has a change of heart. He has a change of heart. Now, I want you to comment or call in and say, have you ever been in a situation in your life where you did a pivot? Like you were one way, and then you realized the error of your ways, and then you did a pivot, and you went the opposite direction, right? A lot of people consider this when you get saved, right? You go to church, you've been a hellion all your life, whatever you've been doing, womanizing, drugs, whatever you've been doing, and then you pivot, and you say, I'm going to go this way. I was this way, which was bad. Now I'm going to go this way. Or, or sometimes it's not as drastic. Maybe it's a subtle change. I wasn't caring about my health, and now I'm going to care about my health. You do a pivot. So Keanu Reeves did a pivot. He said, I'm not going to do this anymore. This is not good. I'm going to be, I'm going to work for a charity. I'm going to do it. And I'm paraphrasing because it was a long time when I watched this movie, right? And so he makes a shift where now he's a nice guy. He's doing charity stuff, right? He's really kind of flipped the script, okay? But at the end of the movie, and I'm going somewhere with this, I really am, because what we're talking about, the danger of duality. So he did his flip, and now he's the good guy. But at the end of the movie, it looks like, he's made a pivot. He's a good guy now. But then a news reporter comes up to him. He and his wife are they're leaving the courtroom, and the reporter says, man, the world needs to know about this. This is important. I'm paraphrasing. I should play it. I might play it. Let me see. I don't know how it'll go, but I'll play the scene. People need to know about this, And all this whole time he's like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm doing it for the people. No, he's trying to be humble, right? And then he says, okay, call me in the morning. So he took the bait. And at the end of the movie, the guy who's a reporter, they show his face transitions from the face of the guy who's a reporter to the face of Al Pacino, who plays the devil. And then he says, pride is my favorite sin. Okay? And that movie really stuck with me. Why? Because regardless of what side you are, the core lower vibration energies, they can appeal to you either way. That's why you can't really measure how you're functioning based on what you do and the things you do, because whether you're doing something that is considered to be beneficial for the world or you're doing something that's not beneficial for the world, if you do it in a low vibrational way, then you haven't changed from a perspective of who you need to become. So I just want to play this clip. I don't know if this is going to come through or not, but it's really, and you really need to see it. So I'm going to put a link below. I really am going to do it. Last week I said I was going to do it and I got distracted. But I'm going to just play this scene and see. Let me see if I can play it where you can hear it. So this is at the end of the movie. And Keanu Reeves and his wife are leaving the courtroom. They just had this big victory. So let me see if you can hear. This is wire service. You probably can't hear it. Let me see if I can get it a little bit louder, because you might not be able to hear it, but let's see. Let me see. He says, "You're a star." Okay, I'm going to try it one more time and see. This is a story that needs to be told. It's you. He says, "It's you. You're a star." He says, "Call me in the morning." He thinks about it for a minute. He's like, call me in the morning. First thing. And then Albert, the reporter's face transitions over. He goes, "Pride. Vanity." Vanity it was. I'm messing up. Vanity. He said vanity was his favorite sin. So where are you going with this, High Priestess Makita? Listen. First is it was vanity, not pride. It's vanity is what he said in the movie was his favorite sin. And what I just really, really want to articulate and talk about, like if you call me at 313-355-6018, we could talk about it, but is how even if somebody is holding themselves up to some greater cause and appears to be such a noble person because they're helping that cause, they can still be driven by things like vanity that are lower energy vibrations. And so it's really from an individual and let's say from an individual perspective, it's still the same issue. You're still not growing, you're still not progressing, and you're still not moving forward. And so in the matrix, what I'm seeing a lot of is this duality, right? It's like, even though there's some people who are more promoting of wars and things like that, there are other people who are kind of holding this flag up and saying, "I support the Ukraine and we have to do something." But regardless, you're still focused on the war. So that means that if you buy into, and you don't have to, if you buy into, this is real talk. If you don't buy into, then call me. But if you buy into the reality of thought forms promoting different activity and behaviors, if you say, well, if I think about something, thoughts or things, the more I think about it, the greater it gains momentum, the greater its existence becomes in my environment, then it doesn't matter, even if you're thinking good thoughts, even if you're in the sense of, you say, "Oh, I support the Ukraine, I support the people of the Ukraine, I support," every time you think about it, every time you envision something horrific and you say, "Oh, that's horrible, I support the Ukraine," every single time you do that, you are feeding the momentum of the activity. It doesn't seem like it. I know, right? You think when you say, "Oh, I support the Ukraine. Oh, that's horrible what's going on over there. Oh, I want to do more." You think that you're helping when you do that. But you're not. We're going to talk about, in the vortex, we'll talk a little bit about what can you do. Because you're like, "High Priestess, wait a minute. I mean, I'm not going to support the war, but I feel like I should say something where, to support them and let the people know." I guarantee you, the family, the kids, the people that are down there on the ground in the Ukraine, they could care less about what you're thinking about them over here. Unless you're about to hop in a plane and grab a gun and go over there and do something physical. And even then, there's so many people there, they wouldn't even notice you. You'd be like a pin drop, right? So even though you think you're helping, you're really not. right? And if you don't agree with that, then call me, tell me you don't agree with that. 313-355-6018. You're watching Temple of Divine TV, real talk for the walk. Broadcasting, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, other top social media platforms via WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And call 313-355-6018 because, High Priestess wants to talk to you, right? It's one really great reason. But the other reason is, and most people don't have a place where they can ask the questions. Most people don't have, you can't necessarily go to your church or your pastor or your rabbi or whoever to ask those questions that are in the back of your mind that are just like really messed up. Like, why is it that good things happen to bad people? That book ain't exactly, did you read the book? There's a whole level of truth that nobody ever talks about. And we need to start the dialogue so you can raise your vibration and get free and get all the stuff in your vortex. But anyway, I digress. The point is that, so just to sum up in the matrix, there's a danger in continuing to talk about and feed the energy of things that are bad, even if you are thinking that you're supportive. Now, now, let's talk about the flip side. What can you do? What can I do? High Priestess, I can't just sit around here and look at what's going on here and not feel about it, not have emotion about it, not, want to do something or to help. First of all, let's just be honest about this false humility. I'm not trying to call anybody out, but, a lot of times we say we want to do something. We say we want to help. But the reality is, you only want to help to a point. You only want to help to the point that you're not endangering yourself. And guess what I'm going to tell you? That's okay. It's important for you to be selfish. It's important for you to look out for you because everybody does it. And the only difference is when you admit it, when you say, man, you know what? I feel bad for them, but I'm glad it ain't over here. You know what I'm saying? You're just saying what everybody else is experiencing inside. And so to make up for it, you're like, oh, I feel so sorry for you, Ukraine people. Oh, wow, this is horrible. What's happening to you? In the back of your mind, you're like, and I'm so glad it's not me. Or you're like, oh, the world. Or you take the opposite and you go, oh, my gosh, the world is going to a hell in a handbasket. What are we going to do? The end of times is here. And now you're spinning off a whole nother series of thought forms that are equally detrimental to the overall vibration of the planet when you do that. So what can you do? What can anyone do? What would be the most productive activity for those that are spiritual and those that have an understanding of spiritual principles and thoughts and law of attraction? Yes, it's always on whether you like it or admit it or not. What can you do? This is what you can do. What you have to do is you have to look at that situation and begin to spend time thinking about what it would look like if it were right. What would it look like if it were good? What are the things that you know about the Ukraine? If you're from the Ukraine, what are the things that you remember that are great about it? You have family over there. What are the things that you remember doing with your family in the Ukraine when it wasn't wartime? When you see a bomb drop on a children's hospital, I know it's hard. I know it's not like you're going to see that and go, oh, well. But you have to. If you really want to help, if you want to continue to create more of what you're seeing, then just keep on the path that you're going. Keep on talking about it. Keep on watching the negative news. Keep on sharing it with your friends and talking with other people about how bad it was. Just keep on doing that. And the momentum, keep on talking about World War III. Keep on talking about all that stuff. And guess what? You're going to get what you talk about and what you feel emotional about. If you really in your heart feel about, oh my gosh, World War III is coming, baby, it's coming. But if you can, and this is why it's important for us to build ourselves up spiritually with that meditation, because that's going to help you to be strong enough to look at a situation like that and begin to create in your mind a real reality that is better and new and supportive for the people who are there. Okay? Now, I know that is easier said than done, and I have not always been a person who has that capability. The only reason why I am at a point now where I can do that, where I can hold people up, I can hold situations up, is because I have been on a constant journey for probably 30 years to get there. In the sense of, when I first started, I know we're talking about in the vortex, but I think this is, we'll get to it. In the spirit is a different topic. We're talking about tools, but for me, it's a process of self-awareness and self-development and spiritual connection, right? So you have to do the meditation because to connect yourself with your source, then meditation. And I do have a free meditation that if you want it, just put meditation in the comments. I'm happy to send it to you. I want you to think about your environment and everything that's happening to you every day, right? There's something going on all the time. There's news going on. There are people talking to you. Dogs are barking. Work needs to be done. Laundry needs to be done. Dinner needs to be cooked. People are having sick. Somebody got announced to have cancer. Somebody else has cancer. Your business isn't going the way where you want it to go. Your body's not working right the way you want it to go. You have pain. There's so many things that are going on in the average day of an average person that unless you set an intention to really get quiet, you will never do it. And as long as you stay kind of all over the place with focusing on all those things that are going on, you can't connect to yourself. If you can't, it's kind of like you need to plug in. Say you're a Tesla, and the Tesla, maybe that's a bad example, but say you're an electric car. Say you're an electric car. Let's say you're a car and you require power to plug in. You can be the most beautiful car. You can have the greatest, most luxurious seats, the amazing hardwood steering wheel that feels so good underneath your hands. You got Bluetooth piped in there. Your music is on. I mean, it's amazing. It's the most beautiful vehicle in the world. But at the end of the day, the vehicle is meant to take you places. And if you don't plug it in and give it power, guess what? It looks good, but it ain't going nowhere. That's you. You are like this amazing vehicle. And this is your earth suit. This is what you came here to operate here in. This is your vehicle. Your source is your juice. If you don't plug in, and meditation is a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but really all it means is sit down for 10, 15 minutes a day and just be quiet and don't think about nothing. That's what it is, right? If you don't plug in and get power, how you going to do what you need to do? How you going to do anything? How are you going to be the best mother? How are you going to be the best father? How are you going to be the best business person? How are you going to be the best teacher, the best lawyer, the best doctor? How are you going to be your best if you're not plugged in? Now, I will say that human beings are amazing. You are freaking amazing. The stuff that we get done and that we're able to do, not being plugged in, not being driven by our core of where we're focused on, the stuff that we get done, it's freaking amazing. I was just looking at just the technology we have in our hands and the way we can have things delivered to us from anywhere in the world within a day or two. This is an amazing, amazing time to be alive. And technology is moving very quickly. And so you'll get to a point, and sometimes I talk about artificial intelligence. We all love artificial intelligence. We're all doing it. Last week we talked about virtual reality. We're all using these tools and technology to improve our lives. They're good. But here's the thing. we will get to a point in technology where we don't need to do anything. We can be fed all the stimuli, and then these vessels become, we basically like outsource the vessel. You outsource your vehicle. When you're steeped in virtual reality and you're sucking in all the news and stuff from other people, and you never sit to be quiet with you just outsourced your vehicle for somebody else's use. And it's not helping you with what you came here for. Do you know what you came here for? Text me in the put a comment below if you know what you came here for. Do you know? Do you know why you're here? I'm gonna tell you why you're here. How you know why? How do you know why I'm here? Because I know why I'm here. Okay? Here's why you're here, and you're gonna disagree with this. So get ready. Get your hands, your keyboard ready on the comments right now, because this is it. Or call me 313-355-6018 right now, because I'm guarantee you ain't gonna agree with this unless you are vibrating higher. Maybe you will. This is why you're here. You are here to enjoy the experience of being here on a purpose that you set before you came onto this planet. You had a goal, you had a vision, you had something you wanted to experience. So you came down here to the blue orb, the playground. This is like the playground. You came down here to the blue orb, the playground, to do a thing, to learn a thing, to experience a thing, to slow things down, to slow creation down a bit so you can experience it. Because your higher self, the higher version of you, creates instantly. You're an instantaneous creator. Yeah, you are. Your higher version of you is an instantaneous creator and is sitting there in your vortex right now, holding for you everything that you ever wanted in your life. How you know that, High Priestess? I don't know. All I know is about me. And all I know is my interaction. Have I ever seen the vortex? No. Why do I know the vortex exists? You know why? Because when I look back over my life and the things that I have had contrast about things I didn't like, and then I identify the things that I did like, that I wanted, as I have risen in my personal vibration, I have seen the things come to pass. I'm not just talking out of my butt. I'm not like, oh, that didn't sound right, did it? But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just giving you, like the gurus, right? The gurus, they talk to you and they give you all these principles and these guidelines and these things you need to do to connect with the higher self and blah, blah, blah. But the point is, the only reason why you need to connect with your higher self is to get direction while you're down here. It's like this. You ever watch, okay, this is my favorite movie, The Matrix. I talk about it every single week. But there's a scene in The Matrix where, they had these phones. They have these phones, right, where they can kind of tap in to get direction. They tap into the higher team, the team that's on the ship. They tap in and be like, okay, I need Keanu Reeves to be running, trying to go somewhere, and he can't stop running. But he calls up and he's like, hey, I need an exit. And then they'll tell him to the phone, okay, turn right on Elm Street, right? Or maybe not Elm Street. Maybe I want to go on Elm Street. But the point is, he's running. He needs a download. Like, okay, what do I do? Where do I go? Where do I go? That's your higher self. Your higher self is up there like, dude, I'm holding this stuff right here. Will you please just turn? And then all they can do is see you perfected. They can't see your flaws. They don't see your disappointments. They don't see your quirks and your hang-ups. And they don't see any of that. All they know is, I got this here. I'm holding it for you. Come on. And you're just down here watching the news, getting caught up in some stuff, not connecting at all in any way with your higher self. But they ain't giving up on you. Your higher self is right there holding your stuff. And so the only way you can plug in, the only way you can get the download, you have spiritual people talk about the download. The only way you can get the download is to connect to your source. Now, I will say this, different people have, I don't like to use the term God, because so many people have so many different definitions, and that's fine. But to me, it's like there's an overall infinite intelligence over everything, whether you call it God, source, or whatever. Then there's your higher self, which is really the manifestation of source, your piece of source, the piece of source that you are, because you are a piece of source. And you basically broke off even a more piece, and you came down here in a vessel to experience. Okay? So your higher self, the source version of you that is higher self, is holding everything you wanted in place. Meditation is how you connect to the source, plug in, and get the download on what to do. Anyway, you're watching Temple of Divine TV. Real talk for the walk on WJCZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode every Saturday at 3 p.m. Right here. And call me, 313-355-6018. Okay. So that is like my spiel. Like, I got a little bit like wound up because I see it for you. Like, I know what has happened for me, and I see you, and I want this for you. I really want this for you. And I got to tell you, this is like a serious uphill battle, because everything that is in our existence today, it feels like sometimes, is designed to keep you unplugged and unpowered. Now, the fact that you're powerful anyway should just tell you, like, wow, I'm powerful anyway. If I were really to plug into source, I could really do some stuff, right? So, from that perspective, it's a challenge. And I have to, for myself, I have to say, High Priestess Makita, you're not here to change the world. You're just here to share and be a light and a light and a window where people can go that are on the journey, where people can go and get help. And the most important service that I provide to you is just a place to ask a question, or a place to be heard and to know that you are not alone. One of the things that I really love about as I've grown and as I've had this show is connecting with other spiritually motivated, maybe I'll call that spiritually motivated people with different skills and talents, because when we find each other, we're like, oh my gosh, you totally get it. This is like my new friend, Dr. Simona Monet. She is going to be here next week, again, in person, right here, healing you right over the internet. I know it sounds hypey, doesn't it? But it's true. She is a distance healer. She can heal you over the phone. When you call in, she can connect with your energy and understand something about you that you didn't know before, or you can confirm and say, oh wow, how does she know that? And it's really fascinating, and I'm going to tell you why these things work. But keep in mind and know that next Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on Temple of Divine TV, Real Talk, we're going to have Dr. Simona Monet in studio again. And don't miss out this time. Don't miss out. And you may be thinking, well, that's hypey, that's this, that's that. Don't worry about it. Just call in, because guess what? If it was a hype and if it wasn't good, then when you call in, you can be like, aha, I knew that wasn't legit, because that's not true. And guess what? You get to prove somebody wrong. That'll get you on there, won't it? You get to call in and be like, yeah, let me see if she can find out what's wrong with me. Yeah, so this is so-and-so, so tell me about myself. So do that. Do it. Call in. Same number, 313-355-6018. You need to get queued up, because it's going to be first come, first serve basis, okay? And what we're going to do, and comment below if you're interested in healing in any way, because what we're going to do, Dr. Simona, is as part of her community support, she is actually going to, oh, wait a minute, I got it flipped up. Wait. Next week, Dr. Simona is going to be on the live stream, doing healing distance. That's even more distance on the live stream. My bad, I got that mixed up. Next week, she's going to be on the restream. The following 2 weeks later, on the 16th of April, we're going to select anyone who has expressed an interest in healing. So, for example, if you comment below, heal me, I'm interested in healing, I have a family member who's interested in healing, I need, I know 15 people who need healing, my cousin just got diagnosed with cancer, blah, 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 then you comment below anything that indicates an interest in healing, and you will be entered into, everyone who makes a comment and expresses an interest in healing will be entered into a drawing. Okay, and whoever wins the drawing, that on April 16th, the following Saturday, two Saturdays from the 2nd, Dr. Simona Monet will be right here in the studio with the person whose name got pulled, and she's going to do a live healing right here in the studio. Now, this is your opportunity, okay, because this is for free. She's doing a healing for free. There's a cost for this. These people, they should be compensated for putting up with y'all. But she's going to be live here in the studio on April 16th with a guest who will receive a healing right here in the studio. So April 2nd, Dr. Simona Monet is going to be on the restream. In other words, we'll be like a Zoom. And then 2 weeks later, anybody who expresses interest, and you don't have to do it necessarily during the show, but you can comment below, or you can message Makita Divine. You can message me and say, I'm interested in healing. And anyone who does that will be entered into a drawing, and you will receive the gift of a free healing appointment live session. Now you gotta be willing to be live, okay? You can't be a chicken. If you're a chicken, you have to call in on April 2nd and have it. You have to dial in on April 2nd and have your healing over the phone if you're gonna be chicken, okay? You're not a chicken though, are you? But if you're gonna be chicken, April 2nd, call in. If you're not a chicken, okay? If you're not a chicken, if you're a brave soul who just want to get this healing done so you can get on about your business of what you got to do here on the blue orb, then put comment below, heal me, or whatever, to let me know that you're interested in healing. Okay, so I went a long time on that, but it's important. These are times where you really need, not even just from a physical perspective of you feeling better, but from a spiritual perspective, your body needs a good, solid vessel to operate in, okay? You can't receive all of the energy, the healing energy that is your natural state, if you are mired in disease. And a lot of that comes from mental, like a lot of what we do in terms of healing comes from managing that mental piece, right? Because it's dis-ease is where disease comes from, right? Okay, so I went on a bit long on that, but the point is, comment below so you can get in a drawing, so you can get a free healing, and let's do this. Now, why? Let's go to End of Spirit. Why does the healing work? Like, what are all these Reiki people about? And why do tarot card readers, like, what do they do? And why? I don't understand that. Let me try and frame it up for you. In the spirit, we're going to talk about, let's frame up the bigger picture. Okay? And I'm going to try and frame it up and help you to understand what is really happening with all these different modalities and all these different people that know all this different stuff. So, there's just one energy, in the sense that there's one source, one consciousness that is infinite intelligence. Okay? There's one consciousness. Okay? Your personality is a piece of the one that is carved out. My personality is a piece of the consciousness carved out that's called High Priestess Makita Divine. But that's a piece of personality, has a consciousness. And then that piece of consciousness broke off another piece of consciousness that went into my mother's womb, okay, when I was conceived. That's another piece of consciousness. right? So, but we're all part of one big consciousness, okay? So, because there's one energy, because there's one consciousness, because there's one massive pool of it, and because this physical body, is an emitter, okay? When we talk about having a vibration, we are emitting a vibration all the time. And the vibration that you're emitting is based on the thoughts that you think, okay? And the thoughts that you think on a consistent basis, you continue to think, become beliefs. Then you begin to operate based on that belief, and it sets your vibration at wherever it is when you set that belief, because that's the beliefs you have. But they can all be changed. When you operate in your life based on those beliefs, then depending on what emotions they elicit in you, that can either raise your vibration or lower your vibration. But you're always vibrating. You're always emitting a signal. Always. Always. So this is why, like, say for example, you might meet somebody. Anyway, you say you meet somebody and you go, they're creepy. Oh, there's something I don't like about that person. Oh, what is it about them? Most likely it's you, because we live in a mirror universe, but that's another show, okay? But there's a energy, a vibration that's being emitted from that person that you're picking up on, depending on how attuned you are to your source, okay? And there's that relationship between you and your higher self, which, if you're not, the way that we know we're not aligned with our higher self is when we have lower emotions like anger, sadness, fear. Those are all things that indicate that we're not aligned, because our higher self only holds your higher self. It only holds the perfect you. It only holds the you that it knows that you can be. It only knows the you that you came here to be. It only knows that. So when you're experiencing an emotion and you're not happy about something, you're frustrated about something, you're whatever it is, that's an indicator that you're not aligned. So, but you're always emitting a signal, okay? So because you're always emitting this signal, those of us who have a higher level perception, okay, those that have a higher level perception can pick up on your vibration, can pick up on what is likely to happen. Not because it hasn't happened yet. Okay, this is one more thing I have to put in here that's probably going to bake your noodle. And we could do a whole nother show on this. But, okay, we'll just toss it out here anyway, because this is real talk for the walk. Every outcome of every combination of every cooperative component, being you or me or whoever, that already exists. That's a lot to wrap your head around. But every single outcome, when you make a decision to go right instead of left, you put into play the other outcome. It exists, right? So when you go to somebody who is a psychic or someone who has a heightened level of sensitivity, let's call it, to the energy and to the consciousness, right? These are, the spiritually awakened. All right. We all have the ability to have this type of skill, believe it or not. We really do. It's just a matter of how much time and effort you spend to manifest, to make that connection to your higher self and to be led by it. Okay. They have the ability to tap in. Okay. So that means that if you go, let's take, for example, our healer. We're going to have Dr. Simona Monet here, right? Your natural state of existence. Keep in mind, your source energy, you're a piece of source energy. Your piece of source energy is manifested here in this body. Okay. Your natural state is a condition of health. It's the way you're designed. It is what you are supposed to be. It is your birthright. It is what source is in you. Okay? So if you're not in health, that is a result of thinking patterns that you've established, that you have made habitual, and emotions that are connected with them. And your body connecting with all of that activity and creating an outcome that is, maybe it's a cancerous cell or some type of mutation in your healthy cells. It's based on you, your thoughts. And that's why people say thoughts are things, right? Because your body is a living being organism that is so attuned to your emotion, because it's here for your survival on the orb as you explore your thing that you came here to explore. It's attuned to that. So when you're thinking about things and they drive an emotion that makes you angry or frustrated or mad, or just your cells are responding to that. So when somebody comes in as a healer, they have the ability to maybe it's Reiki, they can balance the energy. Like you have these energy pockets and places where, I'm sure I have like a bunch. So you know what? If y'all don't show up, I'm going to do healing myself. But so you have all these kind of pockets and places in your body and in your aura and your energy body. We haven't even talked about all that. Like I'm looking for, I have guests where I got a crystal lady lined up to help with energy. But the point is, you are an energetic being. So these people, they have skills, and they can go in and they can connect with the energy, and they can move energy, and so they can help you to feel better for a little while. But if you go back to the same thinking patterns, the same activities, the same situations that put you in that mindset to begin with, guess what? You're going to create for yourself another manifestation of that situation, right? So say, for example, you had some situation, you had some bad thought patterns from 5 years ago, and you have some ailment, and you've improved your thought patterns over time, but it's still bugging you. Then you go to a healer. The healer heals you, okay? And you stay healed because you've elevated beyond that, and your thought processes have improved, and now you're better. But if you say you don't, then you can go and get healed, and then you're not healed no more. And, it can be a vicious cycle. So even though we have these tools and these people available to help us, you have got to take control of your heart and your energy and your mind and really take ownership of it so you can stay that way. But my point is, when we're talking about the run out of time, I'm on the wicked. So my point is that the reason why these all work, because for a long time I was like, I'm not going to talk to a psychic. I'm not going to talk to Reiki healers. They don't really do anything. How is the healer supposed to work? But then as I grew more spiritually and I understood some of these things, I realized what was happening. And it is a help. It is a help. And it's a help that far too few people have been affording themselves, because we're too busy looking at the news, following some new guru and all this kind of stuff, when the only guru you need is you. That's it. That's it. You connected, okay, to the higher you is all you need. But because there's so many distractions and there's so much stuff going on, we need these helpers and these tools to help us. Like we're running with the phone. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? We need them. And they should be compensated, okay? Don't be cheap. You got a tarot card reader, psychic, somebody like that, astrologist, numerologist, pay them. Because when a person that is a healer connects with your raggedy, connects with your raggedy ass energy, they take a risk onto themselves. I mean, they know how to cleanse their energy and all that kind of stuff, but they got to connect to your mess to help you, to heal you. When you go to a psychic, they're connecting to your mess. So pay them. That's just my plug for the psychics and did I miss? I think I missed it. You're watching Temple Divine TV on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And call me. It's too late for you to call me now. You only got like 5 minutes, but 313-355-6018. Don't forget about the healing our healing next week, and get some healing. But my point is that trust. I mean, there's just like anything. There's shoddy lawyers, there's shoddy doctors, there's shoddy whole bunch of people. Just like anything else, there's good ones and there's bad ones. My job, or what I'm taking on as my responsibility, is to help and work and to create a community of providers, of spiritual providers that you can trust to give you that service. But trust the service. It is real, and it's for you to help you to have a better life. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share about the healer. And I was going to share about my psychic. Oh, the other thing. This is important. Okay, this is important. When you're dealing with, and so we're talking about this in the spirit, the tools that we have with the different practitioners. This is what's important for you to know. You are still in control. Okay? You are always in control. Even if, say, you go to a psychic reader and they tell you something bad is going to happen in your life, all they're reading in that moment is the path. They're able to see the path that is currently underway based on your current state of energy and emotion. Okay? Because like we said before, every permutation of every situation, every outcome already lists. Siri eavesdropping on me. Already exists. But listen, if you decide that you don't agree with that outcome and you don't want that outcome, you can always change your vibration. You can always change it and create a different outcome. Because every decision you make moves in the direction of creating a different outcome. Okay? I just want you to know that. Wow, this has been a field show. So, couple reminders. I want to make sure that you do not forget about the healing next Saturday at 3 p.m. Make sure that you don't forget about the healing next Saturday at 3 p.m. The other thing is, I want you to know that here on Temple of Divine TV, we do accept donations to keep the real talk flowing. If you are so inclined, you can donate at via Cash App at $MD Temple of Divine. $M as in Mary, D as in dog, Temple of Divine. And we will graciously accept your donation, $1, $5, $1 million, shoot, $1 trillion. I heard Elon's gonna hit $1 trillion. But whatever you want to donate, whatever value it is, if you do, if you don't, whatever, it's cool. It's just there's a mechanism in place for you to be able to do that. Okay? And then again, I'm going to encourage you to call into the show, because the show is better when you're in it, right? So I want you to do that. And this is kind of loud. This is a song called Sleepwalker. And so for this week, I want you to really focus. Wait 1 second. I want you to really focus your energy on what makes you feel good. Focus on what makes you feel powerful. What makes you feel productive. And as you seek to encourage your Ukraine brothers and sisters, envision a Ukraine that is filled with life, that is productive, that is back to normal. Despite what you see, don't replicate what's happened, what you see with your eyes, with your words. Make sure that you're supporting them. This has been that you're supporting them in a way that helps them, regardless of what you see. Because it's not what we see with our eyes that matters. It's what we see with our hearts and what we create based on who we become. So with that, this is Temple of Divine TV. Real talk for the walk. I am your host, High Priestess Makita Divine. I'm so glad that you spent this time with me today. And you're watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I look forward to seeing you, especially next Saturday, because we will have live healing. Again,